the other side. Argyrou with a record of 0-1. Blake Monty to make his debut here tonight. And Schmo, Monty opening up a -190 coming into this one. With that, we'll go back inside to set the table. Here's Garrett Fertig.
Streaming live on SpectationSports.com, Borroka Promotions presents the prelim main event. 3 5-minute rounds at a contract weight of 150 pounds, sponsored by the Encore Group. And now we introduce first the blue corner, standing 5'9", weighing 149.5 pounds, undefeated as an amateur at 4-0. With 1 win by submission, 1 by knockout. Tonight, he steps into the Borroka cage, making his professional debut. Representing Extreme Couture from Las Vegas, Nevada, Blake Monty. Now he introduces his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Standing 5'9", weighing 151 pounds. 0-1 early as a professional. He represents KO Zone from Miami, Florida, Stefanos Argyrou. Your referee, Mike Bell.
Stefanos Argyrou in the red gloves, pro debut pending for Blake Monty in the blue. This 150-pound catchweight bout is brought to you by Aces Bar and Grill. Good food, good people, and big wins. Straight down from the boxing of Argyrou, but Blake Monty gets right into his bag of wrestling.
Any adversity, just go to where the comfort is. You know you can take him down, you bring him down.
Argyrou has a boxing background, hence his lone amateur win being a first-round KO in the opening exchange of the fight. Almost just saw it again right there, Schmo.
That's right. You saw he's got the heavy hands. He was able to land, but Blake Monty, hey, he gets a little staggered. I'm going to go to where I'm comfortable, shoots the double leg, and now he's got top control.
Blake Monty 1 for 1 on takedown. Stefanos Argyrou was taken down in the opening seconds of his first pro fight versus Ezra Elliott. That one was back in September of this year. On his back right now with Monty tallying up some control time.
Similar position as that last fight, so familiar territory. So what are you going to do about it? You're facing a little adversity. How are you going to inch your way, shrimp your way over to the cage, use your hips, and get back up? Because right now, Blake Monty's in a really good position with a lot of time left in this first round of action.
Blake Monty, the lightest he has been since March 23rd of 2019 when he competed at featherweight for his amateur debut, might give him an even greater grappling edge as we're seeing right now through the first minute and a half or so of round one.
Fighting the hands right there. Heavy shots he's trying to ray in right now.
A little bit of hand fighting from Argyrou over the top. But Blake Monty, calm and collected inside the guard of the Miami fighter.
And Argyrou's got to find a way to separate, put some pressure against his hips, and just inch out of there right now, because right now Blake Monty finding a way to inch his head a little bit closer, putting that pressure up against his opponent so he can rein in some heavy shots and top control.
And Schmo, the experience edge certainly flies by way of Blake Monty. He made his amateur debut in 2019. As for Stefanos Argyrou, he made his amateur debut in February of this year.
And you can certainly feel a little bit of that experience factor right here for Blake Monty as well.
Good job keeping his composure and able to now play the game in his own hands. Not a whole lot of action inside the guard. It was that opening exchange and immediately fell inside to Argyrou. Blake Monty been able to pepper in some shots, but more so now moving his way towards a cage.
Yeah.
See if maybe that can garner some offense.
That's right. Just doing what he can, posturing up, laying some shots. He's got to get some coconut bombs just like he's got right there, Malky Pateau in his corner.
Quick scramble, but Monty makes his way back home into the guard of Argyrou. And Argyrou seems to be very comfortable right now off of his back. Not a lot of damage taken, but also no offense garnered either.
That's right. Has not had a lot of shots land. He's been very comfortable on his back as he's been inching his way towards the cage, but he's got to use those knees to push against the hips of Blake Monty to separate if he wants to bring this fight back to the feet with a little bit less than a minute 10 remaining in this fight.
Monty looks to lock down Argyrou once again. First time since the opening exchange. 1 minute to go. We go standing.
But look at Argyrou kind of standing, almost taunting his opponent with his hands down, walking his way towards Blake Monty.
Seems to have the edge in striking, at least body language would suggest.
Good calf kick by Blake Monty.
Argyrou swings for the fences. Sound defense by Monty. Able to get out of the way of it. Another couple of big-time blows on both sides. And there's that thudding leg kick once again, Schmo.
There he is, but you could just see the confidence and the hand capabilities of Argyrou.
Correct. Argyrou. So late round one, Blake Monty able to pick up a little bit of the striking acumen and a little bit more successful in that final minute once they were standing, Schmo.
That's right. He's certainly on the edge for control time, but he wasn't able to land some significant damage right there. I mean, very, very close in this total strikes landed. Monty having 46 landed versus Argyrou and 38. I think the control time's got to be the difference maker, and I give Blake Monty the slight edge on the unofficial Schmo card through round one.
Now, you got to wonder, right, because Argyrou did land the biggest moment of the fight with that knockdown, but Blake Monty shoots right back up and immediately begins to put the fight into his own hands. A lot of judges look at the biggest moment of a round, but that nonetheless, Blake Monty seems to have been able to pick up enough offense late.
And that just happened so early on in the fight where there was so much left to happen, and just the control time was just so much. Like I said, not too much damage landed. Cobwebs, feeling out process for both these guys. Young portion in their career. Slight edge to Blake Monty. We'll see how the judges see it, though, if necessary.
Blake Monty utilizing that calf kick on the lead leg of Argyrou. Answering back is Argyrou in that exchange. Another couple of blinding shots over the top by Argyrou. Schmo, no other way to cut it. This guy wants a knockout.
Certainly the case, and you can see that Monty respects that power, because when he throws with that looping overhand right, Blake Monty reacts. And as I say that, Blake Monty able to secure a takedown of his own.
Perfectly placed. Now 2 for 3 is Blake Monty in terms of the takedown statistics. Brought to you by Spectation Sports.
But now in round two, similar position Monty is that he was in round one. What can he do with this top control? Can he land those elbows, cut up his opponent?
Getting a quick warning. Blake Monty, 2 wins by unanimous decision. They'll stand back up once again.
Clash of heads.
Seemed as though that was the case. Nice up kick thrown by Argyrou. Matching it is Monty.
But you can see Monty's game plan right there. Going in over the top with the strike, level change, go for the double leg, and bring his opponent down on his back. And now he's in a good position right here. Second takedown, 2 for 2 in round number 2 for takedowns for Blake Monty.
Monty continuing to force the issue. Finds that he can't be hit in the face if he's on top of him on the canvas. That being said, so far so good. for the local Extreme Couture fighter. 3 minutes to go, round 2.
In the half guard, let's see what he could do right here, putting as much pressure as he can with that shoulder underneath the chin of Argyrou.
Monty, tough from our vantage point, but seems to have a position in which he could start to creep up towards a head and arm choke. Argyrou hanging on to that knee of Monty. Schmo, if that gets free,
yes,
that could be trouble.
Wants to step that thing through right there, and he put himself in a great position for an arm triangle choke.
Blake seems to bail on it, but still forcing the action. Short elbow lands for Monty.
And that's what I'd like to see him do with that position. With that left arm, that left elbow, short elbows right there on the jaw will really open things up where he can attack the body and really force Argyrou to have different looks from this bottom position.
Pretty similar output to what we had in round 1, a little bit more stand-up. But Schmo, you suggested Blake Monty came away with round 1. It seems as though round 2 is in his favor as well.
He's got the momentum. This is his wheelhouse. This is where he wants to take the fight. Have his opponent on the back, get heavy, rein in some elbows, rein in some hands, look for a finish.
Is the Schmomentum something that you coined tonight, or is that something you've been using for years at this point?
Oh, we've been carrying this thing. We just find the right angles and places to do it. And as he say the word, now we're getting some more momentum right here from Blake Monty.
Open window for Monty to do some damage, some clear, concise shots, break through the guard of Argyrou. Not a lot of urgency either from Argyrou to get up, as we can see with this shot by Spectation Sports.
But it just kind of just shows you that Blake Monty hasn't been able to land the big shots that have really catching the attention, keeping him off kilter. We get a little bit of leakage right now out of the nose of Argyrou. But he doesn't seem too worried right here. He can use the cage. He could try to push off the hips and separate and get back up, but he seems pretty relaxed and pretty content from this bottom position.
That being said, if you go into minutes 10 through 15, he's got to be finding a finish in your eyes, right?
Absolutely. He's not winning the fight down here by any means.
Blake Monty looking to do some finishing of his own, ground and pounding his way, late round 2. Interesting way to close it. Has all the wind in his sails as we head to the final frame. Schmo, your thoughts?
I think that's what's clear and decisive for Blake Monty, and it's a 10-9 in round number 2. If it wasn't decisive enough for you in round 1, I believe round 2 showed the decisiveness. He was able to get back on top, lay in the short elbows, mix it all in, and we see a little bit of the bloodshed now dripping down to the nose of Argyrou.
So Blake Monty, this is the first time he's prepping for 15 minutes. Stefanos Argyrou did go to a unanimous decision as an amateur. That being said, this is the furthest either of them have had to go in any sort of MMA fight in their career.
Argyrou is going to have to go for broke. If I'm his corner, I'm telling him, I'm down right now, 2 rounds. You're going to have to find a way to get a finish. Have to find a way, if you get taken down, to get back up. Keep this thing standing. You already show you got the confidence on your feet. Keep this fight standing any way, shape, or form you can.
Third and final round between Stefanos Argyrou and Blake Monty here at Borroka Promotions 1. Blake ruling alongside the Schmo for this one. Trading back leg kicks are the two fighters early round 3.
Looping left hand misses right there from Argyrou. But if I'm Argyrou, I like this right here. Keep the fight, center the cage, try to back him in, get those hands heavy, try to see if you can land cleanly, make this thing interesting.
Argyrou digs for that overhand right, now catches the leg, but Blake Monty gets the game played into what he wants.
Telegraphed it too with that big looping overhand right, was able to level change Blake Monty, take him down to where this fight's been most of the time, on the canvas.
Blake Monty more than happy to sit in the guard and continue to pepper in shots as he has been dominant throughout. Landed 80 strikes in total through 3 rounds so far. Argyrou 42 in his favor for anyone keeping score at home.
Argyrou's got to do whatever he can to bring this fight standing. Not going to win the fight in this position. Got to separate. You got to put pressure on his hips. You got to kick him off. Use that cage. Just look at the control time. Just absolutely dominant for Blake Monty.
Minute 14 of round 3 control time in favor of Monty. Now has that elbow up high, and Monty trying to shake that knee loose. Tough spot to be right up against the cage, but able to scrape him away from it. And now rolling downhill is Blake Monty, but loses the spot, Schmo.
It's quite okay.
Minute 44 now.
Back inside control. He's good, trying to bring that left leg over to put him into a full mount position. We'll have a lot of different ways to use his offense.
Now going to the other side is Monty. Argyrou doesn't have the cage now to bail him out as Monty continues to climb. Still a tough spot, but now moves over.
Tapping.
We see the tap. Blake Monty submits his way to 1-0, dominant here at Red Rock.
Took him down all 3 rounds. Finally found his opening, was patient with it, and got the submission victory in round number 3. Not a bad way for a debut victory.
Blake Monty finds success. The most his back was against the wall was in that opening exchange. Outside of that, all him in terms of the control time, and that's where the story of this fight took place.
He was able to take down his opponent at will. As you see, it looks like he may have another member of the family being added within the next year. It's always a nice thing to be holding up.
Beautiful thing to be seen by Blake Monty after a successful pro debut. 4-0 as an amateur over 5 years. And when making this jump up, had a guy like Stefanos Argyrou in his wake, but still successful to come away with W number 1. Quick embrace from Monty and his coaches over at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. Gotta feel good about that one. To make it official, seems as though we're ready to go. Here's Garrett.
The head arm triangle brings on the tap. Official time, 2 minutes, 57 seconds of the 3rd and final round. Declaring your winner by submission, Blake Monty.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Blake Monty. Here it is, your pro debut. You get the submission victory. You got another member of the family coming along. What's going through your mind right now?
Oh, man, all glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm very blessed to be here. I want to give a huge shout out to my beautiful wife and our baby on the way. Can't wait to meet you. We love you already. Thank you. God is just so good, man. God is good.
It seems like the only adversity you faced in this fight was in the opening seconds of round 1. You're able to take down your opponent in all 3 rounds, control the fight. You're able to be patient and finally get the choke in round number 3. Was that the game plan you were looking for this evening?
You know, I'd obviously like to get it done a little bit sooner. I knew he was a good kickboxer. And he missed weight. No problem there. I don't care if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. I will whoop your ass. So
Statement made. How soon would you like to get back in the action?
You know, I have my baby on the way. I'd like to celebrate, enjoy this moment with my beautiful wife. Maybe take a trip, fight again probably around March.
Enjoy the victory, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Blake Monty.
Borroka MMA is brought to you by BetMGM. New users at BetMGM who sign up with